Usually I do this presentation in about, is meant for an hour and a half, 2 hours. So I want to go fairly quick because I want you guys to actually have a chance to do some hands-on playing around with stop motion. So that way you guys, for me, I think that's the best way to learn the stop motion, not for me lecturing. So, and a lot of it's just informational stuff that you guys, just telling you guys about stop motion animation. But the rest of it, really, you guys need to play because it's awesome when you guys play and kind of understand how it works. And you guys can make the most basic of the basic stop motion today. My name is Tui Pham. I work at Creative Arts Academy in the Twin Rivers School District. It is a small, I have 60 kids at my grade level, 2 grade levels per, and it's a charter school within a public school, so anyone can attend. So we're in North Highlands, so it's not like upper Rockland area. We have a diverse community there. So, but this is back in my days. This is the stop animation that I remember. This is what excited me. You know, waking up on a Saturday or any days and then turning on and watching and being able to see this. This is what stop animation was all about for me. You know. Jason and Argonaut and the original Clash of the Titans, you know? I mean, you know, I showed the kids this and, you know, their eyes were rolling because how cheesy it looked. But back then, this was cool. I mean, that right there, the skeletons, I remember, gave me nightmares. It was scary back then, you know? How did they do that? So that's where it all started right there was you know, seeing the old school claymation and stuff. And nowadays, it just blows you away, the possibilities that the stop motion has created. Now, and again, you know, the original Gumby, you know, was another great stop motion favorite of mine. I actually remember doing a couple of Gumby projects in school, you know. So, and I'll tell you guys about like back then it was taking an old camera, about this big, and recording it. But back then, there was no stop functions or your control. Once you press record, you had to quickly press the record button again to stop it. So basically, you're getting like 3 seconds worth of footage there. And then I would record all that and move it and record all that. Then I would take my dad's $500 VCR and then transport it onto there. Then I would con one of my friends to let me borrow his dad's $500 VCR and then connect it together because I had to play and then record off of there. And as I'm playing, I had to stop it quickly. So then that would allow me to frame by frame stop. And it was never perfect. The best that I can get was 1 second. 1 second of footage. And doing all that, and there was no speeding up and fast forwarding. So again, I tell the kids nowadays, like, you guys are so spoiled because the apps that you guys had, the things that you guys have on your computer, on your phone, is just so far advanced than the things that I was doing when I was a kid, when I was your age, you know. So, and the stop motion nowadays from Nightmare Before Christmas to a lot of people don't know, but the original South Park was done with stop motion cutouts and stuff. So it wasn't animation as far as clay animation or digital animation, but it was cutouts. So great movies that are being used today. A recent movie too, The Sword of Kubo. That was done. That was done using stop motion too. But they have revolutionized how stop motion is used. There's an argument too, believe it or not. They're using 3D printers now for each of the figures, because back in the days of Tim Burton and Nightmare Before Christmas, they would use claymation, and they would have all these heads of the claymation, and they would actually move the claymation and, you know, use the artist. So my cousin is in animation, and he said that's kind of cheating in a way now, because now they're digitally printing everything out and then using that for stop motion. So, you know, it's just that, but again, how stop motion has evolved into something greater. Now you can use it with your classroom where you can actually print out different heads and then use that animation. So it has evolved greatly. Now, basically, what is stop motion? So as you can see here, stop motion is basically moving frame by frame an object to make it look like it's actually moving. And there's a lot of movements. There's a lot of frames that goes within there. I have examples that I will show you guys later, but these are great still motion because you don't have to use just clay or what now people are using Legos, but they're actually using real people. This was done on a wooden floor, and the camera is actually up top, so the guy is really laying down on the ground. I don't know if you guys seen a couple of Target commercials, or people are utilizing that now, and they're just putting objects like the keyboards and pillows, and they're just moving the object on the ground and taking the pictures. It's a lot of setup to do that. One of my kids did that. I mean, you need a ladder and everything else because you need a bird's eye angle from it. But again, you can be as creative, and I'll show you the commercials later. It's really, really very creative how they're coming up with stuff. And again, it's endless. People are just topping off more people and coming up with more creative projects for stop motion. The software that you guys would use that I found best, I need to add one more, I just found out today, is iMotion for the iOS devices like iPads and iPhones is free. That's the best bang for the buck. I actually just saw another one, Lego Maker. So I haven't tried it out, so I can't really push it yet, but I want to try it out today and see how that works. But the great thing is that not all, but most animation software works the same. You're snapping a picture basically, and you're able to either delete it or keep on adding on to it. And then a lot of them has like little bells and whistles, like adding on music, adding on special effects, adding on all that. But basically it's the same deal. You're just capturing pictures and putting it all together. And what they would do is compress all the pictures into a movie for you. So they squish all that pictures, and then they will run it as a movie. You know, it's Google has it now. Did you guys notice that when you guys take like a burst of pictures, and if those of you guys that have the Google app, it makes an animation for you guys, and it looks like it's actually moving because you're taking a series of pictures all at one time. So that's all you're basically doing. So Google Photo has, if you guys haven't downloaded it, it does it automatically for you. For the other devices like the Android and stuff, there's the iKit Movie, there's Animator DV for Android devices. I'm a Mac person, so I trust and I use only the iMotion. So, but my other workshops, the people that use the Animator DV, they said it works just the same. So.
Do you know if there's a Chrome one?
Not yet. It's really odd that they have not jumped on the boat. But again, Google has. I say no now, but an hour later there might be something on there. You know, we say it all the time in our workshop. Oh, there, Google doesn't have one. Yeah, there's one right here. Okay, well, an hour ago they didn't. Or the opposite too. I had an app that I said, oh, this is would love it, and we couldn't load it. I'm like, oh, I guess they got rid of it. So it's forever changing. I do check on Google a lot because my kids are one-on-one. We have our Chromebooks, and it would be nice for them to capture footage and to put it on there. But for right now, they're using these ancient iPods that I can pick up. So yes.
Have you tried the Lego Movie app before?
No, I haven't. So I just downloaded this.
That's the one you're talking about.
Yeah, I just downloaded this morning. I was looking through the queue, and somebody was doing that. I'm like, oh, cool. So again, they're always creating it. I'm banking that it's awesome because I use a lot of the Lego tips and a lot of their strategies how to make good animation. And I looked at it online real quick, and it's everything that the iMotion does. So I'm thinking that it's great too. I like the iMotion because I can actually plug up my iPad to it, and then I can control the shots on my phone. So it has a remote and all for free. So I like that because that way I don't actually physically have to touch the device. And when you touch it, sometimes it shakes and it moves just slightly. So some of you guys are very picky about it. It doesn't. There's a little bit of shakeage in it. So I don't know if the Lego one has the remote device. So again, it's preference, but I go for the free. I love the free. I mean, I don't know about you guys. So and then I try to find the device that doesn't crash too. Another thing that's great too that you guys got to think about is that when you're done with your video, does it allow you to have it? You know, where most places like Animoto, it gives you a link, and I don't like that because then they own it. What I like is that it allows you to put it onto your camera roll, because that way then what I would do with my students is once they create it, they can take it, put it into iMovie, put music behind it, put a title behind it, put a credit slide behind it, and just make it really spectacular that they can enter into video competitions. So the iMotion will allow you guys to create the stop motion, but then by owning it and putting other things to it, voiceovers or whatever, it would actually do more. And some are limited where they own it and go, okay, you can view it, but you have to go to this website. So that's what I look for. It's always save on camera roll option there. Okay, so try to look out for that. And that goes for any of the devices.
That's the only one. Save on camera roll.
Because that allows you to basically export that video. It compresses it into a movie for you. And then when it compresses it and you save it in a movie, it's no different than you taking that movie. Where you'll see it says here, save to this link. And if it gives you a link, then basically, and that's where they get you too. They go, oh yeah, you can go to this link, but if you want the premium version, you can actually own it. So that's where they get you with the pricing. Yes.
Then it just becomes a video file?
It becomes a video file, yes, a .mov file. So, like I said, it compresses it for you, and so that's great. The iMotion one does offer you an HD one for a higher cost, but unless you are Tim Burton or plan to enter this into competition, the standard version versus the HD version, there's not much difference, So and just for showing around classroom and putting it on YouTube, that's fine too. That's another thing too, like it allows you, once you own to a movie, that you have that option to upload it onto YouTube. Some of the apps too will do it automatically, but just look for the options. But again, save to camera roll is the best thing for any of that, because it just gives you more freedom too, And some parents are weary about putting it out there on the web or whatever. It's like, now you own it. Okay, so those are the Android apps that we found that works well. Again, if you want to pay for it, or if you guys want to.
Did you put up your presentation?
Yes, it's at the beginning. I'll put it at the end there too, because I want to go through this quickly and allow you guys to work, and I'll put it on the slides and show you guys some examples too. Okay.
Is it the iMotion remote that you use?
Used to connect it together, and you don't need the remote, but for your students, I wouldn't use the remote. But if you're planning to do a long-term project and you have that patience, go ahead and do that. The main supply that you really need is just that device. I have still used my iPhone old generation. I don't even know what generation it is. I think it's like 4. You can probably pick these up on Craigslist or whatever for like $40, $30. I mean, it's extremely old, but it works fine. I started originally starting out having 2 and then picking up 4 on Donors Choose and then picking up more. And a lot of the teachers are getting rid of them now. So I was like, oh, I'll take them. So
What's the oldest one that will work?
I think 4. So but all the new devices, it works too. But you can pick these up if you want a class set. So, and usually you want to group them into groups of 3 or 4, probably no more than that. These are just iPods. These are just straight iPods. They have a camera on them. They still work. So I've been using them for years. So and they work great. Tripods are definite. Tripods, you can pick these up. These are not the newest ones that I have. The newest ones that I had, and I have a link to the supplies too. The best bang for the buck is this device right here, because it just grips the device awesome. This one tends to fall off and it breaks a lot too. This was like $3, but then I was fine with it breaking and then going back and picking up, but it was a lot of waste. So this is the one that I found that didn't break at all, and it comes with a little sense. Excuse me? I have a link to an Amazon link for it, so you guys just click onto it and it'll lead to it too. There's a couple that I linked on there, but a tripod just to keep it steady. You don't have the money, just taking a piece of wood and just basically just put it on there. That works too. If you're really frugal, I've taken just Legos. If you have Legos, you can create your own and just make Lego ones too that the kids have designed and just put it up there and right there. So at my last presentation, the iPad and device holders and stuff, they were giving these out for free, so I took like 500 of them. So, but she gave me these out. I'm like, oh, that works great. So then you put your device on. So anything goes. Anything goes. You want to keep it as still as possible, of course, so that way it's not constantly moving, and you want to keep it so that way your footage is not shaky. So anything possible to keep it on, it's great. So no handheld, that's the only thing you don't want the kids to do, because you're talking about 20, 30 minutes that you have to hold this in the same place. So
Does it need to be able to angle a certain way?
you might, depending on how big the figure is and all that, because some people are like, we'll bring in, let's say like a Barbie-sized doll, and he goes, okay, well that's pretty large, so you realize this, or it's a smaller piece that you have to angle or tilt. So they kind of have to play with their camera angles and understand where to go, because if you go too far back or too far close, so they have to understand that. And
That tripod solves all that, right?
yeah. So and because if you want that bird eye view, you might want to use the larger leg one. So it just depends on, this one's great because it can extend out too. So, and then if you wanted to go tilt down, you can tilt down. So it depends on what kind of, we talk about, well, what are you trying to achieve as far as your camera angle? Do you want to look down? Do you want to look at eye level? So we talk about that in the storyboard, which I'll show you guys in a minute. Anything goes as far as moving. You know, I'll have things for you guys today. From Legos, my students have used whiteboards, which is really cool. I don't know if you guys ever saw the stop motion where they're writing on the whiteboard. So that works too. From cars to clay to people too. We did a Mario Kart one at school. My advanced students were done. So what they did was took a chair and they sit down in the chair. Snap a picture, move the chair forward. Snap a picture, move it forward. Snap, move it forward, snap, move it forward, snap. And then when they played it all together, it looked like they're actually, the chair was sliding out and we had to actually chase around the school, you know. Gumby style, I showed them, Gumby slides on one leg. So you would do it, snap a picture, snap a picture, snap a picture, snap a picture. And then in the end, it looks like you're Gumby sliding around the school. Sit on your butt. It's the same motion. So you can use real people to do it as long as they're still. The lighting is optional. I mean, it's recommended, but if you don't have a good lighting source, because what happens you will see is that if they shoot during different times of day, that light will shift, and so you will see that in and out kind of darkness light. So if you have a constant light source, and you can pick up one, I have the link to, at like Home Depot for like $5, just shining down on there, you have a constant light source to kind of keep that, to keep the image looking crisp. Those are all my hot links right there. That's what the kit looks like. This is the best bang for the buck that I find if you guys have iPads, a device right here, because it works for movies and stop motion. You get the iPad device, you get the little smartphone device, you get a handheld one just in case you want to do other filming. You don't need much. I mean, of course, you can always add on more and do more to make it more robust. But I teach 6th grade, and I've taught it all the way down to 2nd graders. So it can be, you know, you don't need much to do to get it started. When in doubt, too, use the I-bands. I-bands are great for any projects. So if you guys want to buy some I-bands, I have some on sale. They're like $10 a band. So if you guys just come to me, I'll sell it to you guys. Okay. Hold your phone device or anything else. I might give you guys a deal. I might sell you like 2 for $5 or something like that. So just talk to me afterwards. Okay. I'll make you guys a great deal for these I-bands. They're the newest ones. All right. So the benefits of it is definitely by far the creativity that they can bring in any lessons, from spelling to mathematics to science. The teamworks, but the attention to details, I mean, it's endless. For the little kids, I would say by far it's the patience, you know. So yeah, because, and the big kids too, yeah, right. Because again, they want to get this project done fast, and with stop motion, you're not going to get it done fast. It's amazing because I come in with their daily goals. I'm like, today you guys will get anywhere from 3 to 5 seconds worth of footage. What? No, I want to make an hour movie. I'm like, you're not going to make an hour movie. So then they realize how long it takes, and they really work. And the ones that really work for a whole class period, when they press play to show you the preview of the movie, it's literally like 3 seconds long. But I'm like, oh, awesome, and that's it? It's like, yeah, they've worked really hard for that 3 seconds though, because I'll show you guys the breakdown of the frames per second, because it's a lot of frames that they have to do. But patience is the biggest deal. So now, those are different links to different lessons that you guys can go to. Now, this is one done by a 2nd grader. My daughter did this, and a lot of times it doesn't have to be a lot of glitz and glamour. It's that simple. If they have spelling words, it's just an option rather than writing out. You can just grab, Scrabble tiles or any tiles and just moving it down. My advanced students, ooh, can you make those tiles spin as they're coming down, so they can actually spin it down rather than just dropping it down. So I had my advanced 6th graders sometimes put a thread to it, and they're making it float in the air. So they take it really, and they push it really far when it comes to that creativity part. Running into each other and going on there. So it's up to their discretion. It's real simple. That's the 4-second, I think it's like 4-second slide. Like this is old school animation where they're capturing a frame by frame by frame picture of somebody moving or an object moving. And frame rates for a movie is 24 frames per second. So 24 pictures equals 1 second. So there's our math lesson right there. Now animation, it can go anywhere from 10 frames to up to 14 frames. So that's what usually the standard rate is when you're doing stop motion. So you do the math, there's like, okay, you guys are doing 5 seconds today, so you're expected to, let's do the math, what's 14 times 5, and that's how many pictures you guys are taking today in order to get that goal. You know, so in the end, we always start out with a 30-second movie. That's all you're creating. It's a 30-second stop motion. So that's a lot of frames per second because it's a lot of movements too if they do it right.
So which one do you use? I'm sorry, you use 14?
What's great about these is that you can actually speed up the frames or slow down the frames because you look at it and go, and it depends on how far you move it, because if you're doing right here and then your next movement's right here, there's going to be that jump. So, and then some people move just barely where they move here and they take a picture right here. So they might actually speed up that frame rate. And on most of these apps, you can actually speed up or slow down your frame rate to kind of adjust to how it looks. That kind of looks choppy. You want to slow it down. Oh, that looks a little too slow, because if they're going like that, then you might want to speed it up so that way it has a more fluid motion to it. So most of them will have that option to speed up or slow down. So, and it will tell you, oh, you're going 10 frames. You're like, ooh, that's 10 frames. Why don't you speed up to 14 frames? Let's see how it looks. So they have that adjustment too, so, which is nice. But that's what you're shooting for, mainly like about 10 to 14. So, and just tell them it's taking a lot of pictures. You're taking a lot of pictures to get this. You know, most video cameras, it's automatic. They're taking pictures, and so you don't see that process. Yes?
I teach the younger grade, so if I'm going to tell them how to move like a tile, how much, kind of like your question, if they take a bunch of pictures and they move the tile.
Use fingers.
far each time.
Yeah, go fingers. If you're gonna, there's a tutorial about it. If you're doing Legos, you just count the blocks. You're just moving how many blocks. You're moving 2 blocks, 3 blocks, and you want to experiment with that. But I tell the kids, usually you want to move like your thumb size. You know, I tell them about an inch, but usually about your thumb or half your thumb, depending on how jumpy you want it. So they play around with it. At first, they just do a quick movement. You just want to, like today, I want you guys just to move an object from one side to another side, and you guys will see that. There was one kid in the class that moved from here to there, and he was a second grader, right? I go, whoa, that was quick. Is that okay? Yeah. I'm like, don't you want to make it more like a, no, that's good. I'm like, okay. He had like 3 frames. He was a boom, 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 because that's all he could.
But he was done first.
Yeah, he was done first, and he was happy with it. I'm like, all right, you're done. You know, there's nothing I can do to talk him into, like, you want to, you know, he made 7 of those movies within one period, and he was happy with it. You know, he'll learn. Because at the end of it, too, we do a lot of talking. You know, we critique it. So what do you think? It was choppy. Okay, everybody agree it was choppy. What can you do next time to not make it so choppy, you know? So, but it was that kid that he was so happy with what he did. He created is a visual thing. He let him go, you know? So, and just the tips of organizing, keep the project simple. Just keep it simple. The kids try to, first, if they're doing clay, to try to build this elaborate character where it's like, get a ball of clay. That is your object. Octopuses are the best because it's just a ball and some legs. You know, a ball rolling, smooshing up, and then going back. That's the best thing. So, because they'll spend like a week trying to build up their. I'm like, you guys, just get it moving. Learn about the process first. Then you guys can take it home and do projects, and you will see a lot of the kids take it home, and then their project becomes better and better and better because it takes a while for them to learn the whole process. So just get them out there and playing. That's what I want you guys to do today. Keep it simple. Projects are, you know, keep it from 5 to 10 seconds at first. You know, so don't try to. Your guys are going to make a movie. Just you're going to move an object. That's the first project that you guys are going to do. You know, and then just thinking about the storyboard, and we'll talk about the storyboard next because that's where like that background information is. There's a link to it there. Once they have set things on a storyboard, it kind of visually sees what's going to happen. Okay, so your ball's going to roll across. What happens? You know, our next project is something's going to happen. There's going to be a problem and a solution. It could be very simple. You know, the ball flattens out and then it pops up again. So there has to be a problem and a solution. So then they map it out there. For my advanced students, like, do you want to switch up your camera angles? Do you want to zoom in on this one? So then they actually, the next shot, they can move in the camera or back up the camera. Or my advanced students, what you're doing is, as you guys are, as they're shooting the claymation, they rotate the camera. So it has that 360 effect. So actually the camera, like in real life, the camera's always moving in those movies. So you're giving the snap, move both objects, snap, move both objects, and So then that's my advanced one because then they're thinking about two things. So that's where the teamwork comes on. You move the object, I'll move the camera, you know. And then bigger teams will have 2 or 3 objects where you move the dog, you move the cat, and I'll move the person, and I'll have the camera. So it's all that collaboration together again. I'll show you guys. I just started playing around with it. There's actually a presentation on it today, but for the individual projects, there you can actually create a stop motion using Google Slides, and there's a link to it too. Google Slides, and then when you do the presentation, it automatically plays for 1 second. But there's a way to show it where they can actually speed it up. Very simple. Wait, let me get you guys. So there's my, and that's it. That's on Google Slides. That's just a simple project that I did. There's not an example. There's a link to it there, but this is my actual Google Slide presentation. If you look at it, there's instructions, and look. Slide, 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 and it shows you all my movements that I did. Altogether, I have 111 slides on it.
So is there an advantage to doing that over?
The advantage is some kids like to work independently.
And that
So,
actually would work with Chrome.
yes, I did this on a Chromebook.
So then you could do.
Yeah, so this is like more the kids that really like to work independently, and maybe you don't have the iOS device and stuff. So you're limited because it is like a 2D effect, you know, and there's not much you can do, and you have to be very creative. But you can find objects online and then just move it like I did. I had a Pokemon object, and what's great is perspective too. If you want to shrink, if you want to have it run away or come forth, you can create it that way. And what the advantage of the Google Slides is a lot of cutting and pasting. That's all you're doing, because you're just duplicating one slide and then you're just moving it a little bit over there. And if you highlight the item, you just move it with your arrows 1-2 spots until you have that consistency of it moving and being consistent too.
When you go to presentation, then what's the setting to make it go automatically?
The link is on there, but it's way at the beginning here. You can also YouTube it too. Maybe I'll put a link on there. But what you just follow all these steps right there. There's actually a presentation later on if you guys go to it. It's creating animation with Google Slides. But it's going to presentation mode, clicking this off. It's a multi-step to it. If you guys stick around and find me at lunchtime, I'll show you guys. I'll do a hands-on presentation to it. There's great Lego animation too. Here is a quick little video. This guy used Post-it notes. So just taking Post-it notes and using stop motion. So he kind of incorporated like the video game world, but those are all just Post-it notes. Yeah, so you guys have like maybe 20,000 Post-it notes sitting around. Great project for you guys right here. So, you know, and then it gets incorporated into like video games. So this is like kind of like the pixelated, I think it's a 16-bit where back in the old school playing Breaker and all that with the old school Atari, you know, this is where they came out with. So very creative ways to do stop motion. So now, don't think of yourself as Tim Burton. Most of the kids' project is going to look like this. Hand in frame, very choppy. You see where the jittery going up and down. This is a very typical project that you're going to get. Wow, good job. I see that guy ran over somebody. Wow, and he's helping out. Good solution there. Okay, awesome. Yeah, who's that guy? I don't know. He just want to add it in there. This is like a typical 6th grade project, you know? And because just like most 6th graders, most kids, the project, they start to move it, right? They start to click, 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 then, oh, I'm tired. I'm just going to move it over here now, you know? So you see that huge jump. So that's where they got to learn. Whoa, there's a huge jump there. What happened there, you know? So we talk about that. Now, there are, in the device, you can shut off, you can go back to that frame and find that frame of the hand and delete that frame. So we talk about that. Whoa, there's a hand in the shot there. Could you find a way to delete that? The teamwork goes that when your team is together, okay, hands cleared, moving, hands cleared, and then so that way, that communication portion too, that they're talking to one another. It's stop motion. You don't have to worry about it recording audio. So it will be allowed, and it's okay because they're talking to one another. Okay, move, hands cleared, taking picture, move, hands cleared. So it's just repeating over again. So that's important too because there will be a lot of kids will get angry. Oh, your hand's in the shot. It's like, all right, don't worry about it. We can delete it, but make sure that you're, whoever the director is, that the communication is very clear, that the hands must be clear. Okay. Do you have a question or? It's a
I was, you were talking about how it's choppy and the camera is moving up and down. Is there a way, because maybe from day to day they need to reset that camera?
They will have to reset the camera. If their project is from day to day, just like in the movie industry we talk about, try to sequence your shot right here. If it's in front of that tree, finish all your tree, and then the next day will be a different shot, because you will see differences. iMotion has what they call like a ghost trailer, so that actually when you hit it, you can actually see where the last image was, so that way it's kind of like a faint picture of your last frame, so you can actually line up. It's not going to be perfect, from day to day. It's not going to be what it was yesterday, but in case something messed up, that somebody hit the camera, oh, you bumped the camera, it fell over, you can actually press the ghost trailer and kind of line it up, move it up there so it's a little bit close. Remember, these are kids' projects. It's not going to be perfect. There's going to be some shakiness, and it's okay.
The Lego Stop Action app also has that little ghost.
Yeah. Like I said, most of these are very generic. The features are just for any stop motion. They're going to add that. You can delete frames. You can speed up the frame rate, and then you can have that ghost trailer sort of. So that way, it's just smart. And for the advanced students, you can see how much you're moving with the ghost trailer too, because it shows you I'm moving from here to here, from here to here to here. So the advanced tools that they have, they even grid it for you too. So you can have squares on there. So maybe you're moving only one square over or two squares over. And that will help you out. For the little kids, they're not going to get that, but it's just about playing around and seeing something move. Whoa, that's moving, that's cool, huh? So they enjoy that. So, right. And again, more examples of just great, I'll play it for you guys as you guys are working, of just stop motion. I have one of my favorite right here is the color pencil one to music. I'll show you guys in a minute. Okay. Are you guys ready to play around? This is the stop motion feature that you guys see. I have iPods here, so if you guys want to team up in groups of 2, that'd be great. Come up and grab an iPod. Come up and grab a stand or device, and let's start playing around with these. Okay. Oh, another thing too important that I researched and looked up too, that you don't think much about, but these attachments are metal. So I've bought them before where they're plastic, and what happens is if the kids screw them on too tight, it ends up stripping. So then they don't hold it all, so they end up getting thrown away. So all the ones, that's why this is the best bang for the buck. For $2, you got a metal grommet that is very hard to strip. I mean, you got to over tighten it, which is almost not virtually impossible, but you can't do it. Okay. Here is my public service announcement for anybody that's taking video. Please listen up because it's super important. Okay, because friends don't let friends record video like this, okay? If you're recording videos, please turn your video sideways. If you look at TVs, they're built sideways, so not up and down. So if you're gonna open up the app, open it up sideways first, okay? Because that's why when you guys watch those YouTube videos, you see those black lines on the side there. So, I'm a big, I don't mind going to somebody in public going, excuse me, you're supposed to hold your phone sideways for the video, so. So you move it slow, so you control it there and tells you.
Mine is there a frame rate here somewhere? This was the
Oh, you know what, you're in
stop
iMovie.
motion.
Are you?
I was in stop motion.
Oh, okay, you know what, I don't
that
use
where I
stop
wanna
motion.
be?
No, you want to use that one.
iMotion.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
That's another one I use, but it's not as robust as that one, so.
Okay, well, I got the idea of what I was doing. Okay.
At the beginning of the video, I always like to take 6 pictures of nothing. So that gives me a good intro. And then at the end, take 6 pictures at the end of nothing. So that way it gives a good ending piece with it. And I tell the kids, and it eats up a second. So you get 2 extra seconds with your frame. Donors Choose, if you guys don't have it, haven't gone on Donors Choose, that's your best bang for the buck. Try to find a teacher that's done that. Usually they will give you your first project. They'll fund your first project for free. So that will get you at least 4 new generation iTouches or iPads. Donors Choose. I didn't do the Donors Choose. Somebody on my campus did. I'm like, can you help me with it? She helped me. Within a week, I was funded. So that will give you. So, right, that's the one. Yeah. Yeah, and I was supposed to push it on my my Facebook page. All of a sudden, the next thing I know, I was like funded. Like, you're funded. I'm like, oh, I am. You have to write a thank you letter, take a couple pictures of your kids doing the project, and that's it.